Never visit the ranch, Gordon. Promise me. Those words kept echoing in my head as I sat in the lawyer's office 2 weeks after burying my wife. I'm Gordon Pierce, 58 years old, and after 32 years of marriage, I thought I knew everything about Margaret. Turns out I was dead wrong. The lawyer, Alexander Davis, slid a brass key across his mahogany desk. Your wife purchased a property in Montana 3 years ago. According to her instructions, you were only to be informed after her passing. I stared at that key like it might explode. What kind of property? Iron Creek Ranch. 2,400 acres. She paid cash. Cash? We lived comfortably on my mechanical engineer salary, but we weren't ranch-buying rich. Margaret worked part-time at the library, for crying out loud. Where the hell did she get that kind of money? There's more, Davis continued, adjusting his glasses. The property has become quite valuable recently. Natural gas deposits were discovered in the area about 18 months ago. Your wife declined multiple offers from energy companies. My head started spinning. Margaret had hidden a terminal pancreatic cancer diagnosis from me until the final 6 months. I'd thought her secretiveness was just the treatments wearing her down. Never imagined she was out there buying ranches behind my back. Davis handed me an envelope with my name written in Margaret's careful handwriting. She left this for you. Inside was a letter and another smaller key. Her letter was brief. My dearest Gordon, if you're reading this, then I'm gone and you've made it to Alex's office. I know I made you promise never to visit the ranch. I'm releasing you from that promise. In fact, I'm begging you to go just once before you decide what to do with it. In the main house workshop is something I built for you. The small key opens it. I love you more than you'll ever know. Margaret, workshop. Margaret barely knew which end of a screwdriver to hold. I looked up at Davis. How much is this place worth, conservative estimate? $45 million. The natural gas rights alone are valued at $30 million. $45 million. I nearly slid right off that leather chair. My wife had been sitting on a fortune while we were clipping grocery store coupons and driving a 12-year-old pickup truck. But before I could wrap my head around this windfall, Davis dropped another bomb. I should warn you, Margaret's brothers have contested the will. They're claiming the ranch was always meant to stay in the Morrison family. Margaret's brothers, Leonard, Victor, and Nathan Morrison. I'd met those 3, maybe 5 times in 30 years of marriage. They'd always treated Margaret like she didn't exist, and me like I was some piece of dirt they'd tracked in on their shoes. Now suddenly they gave a damn about family property. They've already made contact with Jennifer, Davis added quietly. My daughter, of course, they'd go straight for her. Jennifer was 29, smart as a whip, but she'd lost her mother and was vulnerable right now. Perfect target for their manipulation. What exactly did they tell her? That there's been a family misunderstanding about the ranch, that her mother would have wanted the property to stay with blood relatives. I felt my jaw clench. And Jennifer bought this. She's agreed to meet with them tomorrow to discuss a fair settlement. I drove straight home and called Jennifer. She picked up on the first ring. Dad, I was just going to call you. I had the strangest visit from Uncle Leonard today. Uncle Leonard. They'd known each other for exactly 3 hours and she was already calling him uncle. What did he want? He came to apologize for the family being so distant over the years. Said Mom would have wanted us all to stay connected after her death. Her voice got softer. He seemed really genuine, Dad. He had all these stories about Mom as a little girl that I'd never heard before stories. Right. They were working fast. I'd give them that. Jen, listen to me carefully. Don't sign anything or agree to anything until we can talk face to face. Why would I need to sign something, Dad? What's going on? You're starting to worry me. Just trust me on this one. I'll explain everything soon. Are you in some kind of trouble? No, sweetheart, but I think your uncles might be. The next morning, I was on a plane to Montana. 4 hours later, I stood before iron gates marked Iron Creek Ranch in fancy wrought iron letters. Beyond those gates stretched rolling hills dotted with black Angus cattle and a large house sitting pretty in the distance. This wasn't some rundown family property. This was a working ranch, and a damn nice one. The key turned smooth as butter in the lock. As I drove up that gravel road, my cell phone started ringing. Jennifer again. Dad, where are you? Uncle Leonard wants to meet with both of us this afternoon. He says there's some kind of family settlement we need to discuss before things get complicated. Family settlement? Sure there was. I'm in Montana, Jen. At the ranch Mom left me. Dead silence on the other end. Then Mom left you a ranch. It's a long story, honey. Just don't meet with those uncles without me there, okay? Dad, you're really scaring me now. I'll call you back in 2 hours. Promise me you won't do anything until then. Fine. But you better have some answers when you call. The house was beautiful. 2 stories with a wraparound porch and picture windows overlooking the valley. Nothing about it suggested the pain Margaret had always carried when she mentioned her childhood home. This place looked loved, cared for, restored. I found the workshop easily enough. It was attached to the main house through a covered breezeway, brand new construction that hadn't been there in any old photos I'd seen. The small key fit perfectly into a heavy oak door. When I stepped inside, my breath caught in my throat. It was a woodworker's paradise. Every tool I'd ever dreamed of owning was arranged on pegboards with military precision. A massive workbench dominated the center, made from what looked like reclaimed barnwood. Bandsaw, table saw, router table, hand planes that probably cost more than my truck. Even a dust collection system humming quietly in the corner. But what really got me was the sign hanging above the main workbench. Hand-carved in beautiful script. Gordon's Workshop, build something beautiful. I hadn't touched woodworking tools in 20 years, used to love it in college, spent hours in the campus shop building furniture for our first apartment, but life got in the way. Career, mortgage, raising Jennifer. Someday became never, and never became forgotten. A computer sat on a side desk, screen already glowing. A note was taped to the monitor, password workshop 1991-. The year I'd built Margaret, our first dining room table. The screen opened to a folder labeled for my craftsman. Inside were dozens of video files, each dated, starting with today and going out a full year. My hands were shaking as I clicked the first one. Margaret's face filled the screen. Not the thin, pale woman from her final months, but healthy Margaret from maybe 2 years ago. She was sitting in this very workshop, wearing one of my old flannel shirts. "Hello, my love," she began, that smile that had melted my heart for 32 years lighting up her face. "If you're watching this, then you found our workshop, and I'm not there to see your face when you walked through that door, our workshop. Like she'd always been part of it. I know what you're thinking. Margaret barely knows a Phillips head from a flathead. How did she design this place?" She laughed, that sound I'd been missing for weeks. "Well, I had help. Remember Carl Williams? Carl Williams, foreman from the construction site where I'd worked summers during college. Guy who'd taught me half of what I knew about building things right. Turns out Carl retired to Montana 5 years ago. When I started planning this place, I looked him up, told him about your workshop dreams, showed him pictures of that table you built me." She gestured to something off camera. "He designed every inch of this space specifically for you." The camera moved as she carried it around the workshop, showing me details I'd missed. Custom storage for hand tools, a lumber rack system that could handle boards up to 16 feet, even a small finishing booth for staining and polyurethane work. "But this isn't just about woodworking, Gordon. This is about giving you back the part of yourself you lost somewhere along the way. The part that created beautiful things with your hands, not just engineered them in your head." I had to pause the video. Margaret had seen something in me that I'd forgotten existed. When I hit play again, her expression had grown more serious. "I need to tell you about the cancer diagnosis. I found out 3 years ago, stage 4 pancreatic. The doctors gave me 6 months to 2 years. 3 years. She'd known for 3 years and never said a word. I didn't tell you because I didn't want our last years together overshadowed by death. I wanted to spend whatever time I had left building something for your future, not dying in front of you." She explained how she'd secretly bought back Iron Creek Ranch from her father before he died. The old man had been broke after years of failed schemes and gambling debts. Her brothers thought they'd inherit the place someday, but there wasn't anything left to inherit. Margaret had bought it legitimately for a fraction of its worth. The old man desperate for cash and willing to sell to his daughter if she kept it quiet. The ranch was in ruins when I bought it, just like when I was a kid. Broken fences, collapsed barns, house barely standing. But this time I had resources to fix it up. Every business trip I told you about, every weekend visiting my cousin in Denver, I was really here, working with contractors, rebuilding this place into something worthy of you. The video continued as she walked through the main house, showing me room after room that had been restored with incredible attention to detail. The kitchen had been designed around my height, the living room fireplace positioned perfectly for watching Montana sunsets. Even a library filled with woodworking magazines going back decades. "I know my brothers will come for this place," she said, settling back into her chair in the workshop. "Leonard, Victor, and Nathan never wanted the ranch when it was worthless, when Dad was drinking away the farm profits and letting everything fall apart. But now that it's valuable, suddenly it's precious family heritage." Her expression hardened in a way I'd rarely seen. "What they don't know is that I documented everything. Dad's financial troubles, their complete abandonment of family responsibilities, even some questionable business dealings they've been involved in over the years. A filing cabinet sat in the corner of the workshop that I hadn't noticed before. Margaret gestured toward it. Everything you need is in there. Legal documents proving I bought this place fair and square. Evidence of Dad's financial situation when he sold it to me. And some insurance policies in case my brothers get too aggressive about their claims. The video ended with her looking directly into the camera. Love and determination mixing in her eyes. Build something beautiful here, Gordon. Not just furniture, but a life. The life we always talked about having someday. Outside, the sound of vehicles approaching interrupted my thoughts. Through the workshop window, I could see 3 cars coming up the driveway. The Morrison brothers had arrived, right on schedule. I quickly saved the video and walked outside to meet them. Leonard Morrison climbed out of a black Cadillac Escalade like he owned the place. He was tall like Margaret had been, but where she'd been warm and genuine, he radiated cold calculation. Victor emerged from a silver Mercedes dressed in an expensive suit that probably cost more than most people made in a month. Nathan brought up the rear from a BMW, younger than his brothers, but carrying the same entitled attitude. Gordon, Leonard nodded, extending a manicured hand. "We appreciate you agreeing to see us." I hadn't agreed to anything, but I shook his hand anyway. Firm grip, the kind businessman used to establish dominance. "What brings you boys to Montana?" "Family business," Victor said, pulling out a leather briefcase. "We need to discuss this misunderstanding about the ranch." "What misunderstanding would that be?" Nathan stepped forward, playing the reasonable younger brother. "Our father never intended to sell family property outside the Morrison name. Margaret buying it was emotional, sentimental. But now that she's gone, it should return to the bloodline. The audacity was incredible. Your sister bought this place fair and square. I've got the paperwork to prove it." "Paperwork can be misleading," Leonard said smoothly. "Our father was suffering from early-stage dementia when he made that sale. His judgment was compromised. I'd heard enough lies for one day. Funny how his judgment was fine when he was cashing Margaret's check." Before they could respond, my phone rang. "Jennifer? Dad, I'm at the airport. My flight lands in Billings at 6 p.m. You don't need to fly out here, sweetheart." "Yes, I do." Uncle Leonard explained everything to me about the ranch and Mom's condition when she bought it. "We need to sort this out as a family." They'd gotten to her. In less than 24 hours, they'd convinced my daughter that I was the problem here. "Jen, just wait until I get back." "We can. I'm already on the plane, Dad. Uncle Leonard is picking me up at the airport." The line went dead. Leonard smiled at me with satisfaction. "Jennifer's a smart girl. She understands family obligations." "Family obligations," I laughed, but there wasn't any humor in it. Where were these family obligations when your father was drinking himself into bankruptcy? Where were you when Margaret was taking care of him in his final years? Victor opened his briefcase and pulled out several documents. "We've prepared a settlement offer that's fair to everyone involved. You keep 25% of the ranch value. Jennifer gets 25%. And the remaining 50% goes to the Morrison Family Trust." I glanced at the papers without touching them. "Generous of you to offer me a quarter of what my wife left me." "It's more than generous," Nathan said, his reasonable mask slipping slightly. "You have no blood connection to this land, no family history here." That hit closer to home than I wanted to admit. Margaret had grown up on this ranch. Her roots went deep into this Montana soil. What right did a city boy from Minneapolis have to claim it? But then I thought about the workshop, about the years of planning Margaret had put into this place. She hadn't built it for the Morrison Family Trust. She'd built it for me. "I'll need time to review any offer," I said finally. "Of course." Leonard nodded. "We'll be staying at the hotel in town tonight. Jennifer will want to see the property before any decisions are made." After they left, I went back to the workshop and opened that filing cabinet Margaret had mentioned. The first drawer was full of legal documents, deed transfers, property surveys, mineral rights assessments. Everything was in order, just like Margaret had said. The second drawer contained financial records going back 15 years, bank statements, loan documents, tax filings. I wasn't an accountant, but some patterns were pretty clear. Large cash withdrawals from their father's accounts in the years before Margaret bought the ranch. Withdrawals that corresponded with deposits into accounts belonging to Leonard, Victor, and Nathan. The third drawer made my blood run cold. Private investigator reports documenting the Morrison brothers' business dealings over the past decade. Leonard's investment firm had been investigated twice by the SEC for questionable practices. Victor's insurance agency had settled multiple fraud claims. Nathan's consulting business was a shell company that existed mainly to move money between his brother's enterprises. Margaret hadn't just been protecting me from a family dispute. She'd been protecting me from people who made their living by taking advantage of others. At 6:30, Jennifer arrived with Leonard in tow. My daughter looked tired and confused, probably from Leonard spending the entire drive from Billings filling her head with their version of events. "Dad," she hugged me, but it felt stiff, uncertain. "This place is incredible. No wonder Mom wanted to keep it in the family. She did keep it in the family," I said. "She left it to us." Leonard stepped forward, putting a grandfatherly hand on Jennifer's shoulder. "Your father is understandably emotional about this situation. Grief can affect judgment." I wanted to punch him right in his smug face. Instead, I led Jennifer into the workshop. Her eyes went wide when she saw the setup. "Did you do all this? Your mother did?" "She spent 3 years planning it while she was sick." I turned on the computer and pulled up Margaret's video. "I want you to watch something." Jennifer sat down at the desk while I played Margaret's explanation of the cancer diagnosis and her secret project. I watched my daughter's face change as she heard her mother's voice, saw the love and planning that had gone into every detail of this place. When the video ended, Jennifer was crying. "She built this for you, didn't she? All of it. Every board, every tool, every nail. She wanted me to have something to build with my hands again. And Uncle Leonard wants to take it away." Before I could answer, Leonard appeared in the workshop doorway. "Jennifer, we should discuss the settlement offer privately without emotional interference." That's when my daughter surprised me. She stood up, wiped her eyes, and looked Leonard straight in the face. "The only emotional interference I see here is you trying to steal my father's inheritance." Leonard's mask finally slipped completely. "This ranch belongs to the Morrison family. It always has." "No," Jennifer said quietly. "It belongs to my mother's family, and that's us." The next morning, I called a meeting. Leonard, Victor, and Nathan arrived at 10 a.m. sharp, expecting to finalize their settlement offer. What they got instead was a conference room set up in the main house, with all of Margaret's evidence laid out on the dining table. "Gentlemen," I said as they took their seats, "before we discuss any settlements, I think you should see what your sister left me." I spread out the bank statements first. 15 years of financial records showing systematic withdrawals from their father's accounts. The amounts weren't huge individually, but they added up. Over $200,000 over 5 years, all flowing into Morrison brother accounts while their father slid toward bankruptcy. Leonard's face went pale. "Those are private family financial matters, are they? Because the Montana Attorney General might find your father's financial situation very interesting. Especially since he was forced to sell family land because his sons were bleeding him dry." Victor stood up abruptly. "We were helping him manage his investments by funneling his money into your personal accounts while he couldn't afford ranch maintenance." I pulled out the private investigator reports. "Margaret documented everything. Your SEC troubles, Leonard. Those insurance fraud settlements, Victor and Nathan. That shell company of yours is particularly creative." Nathan finally spoke up, his voice strained. "What do you want?" "I want you to walk away from this ranch and never come back. I want you to stop manipulating my daughter. And I want you to leave Margaret's memory alone. And if we refuse," Leonard asked, trying to salvage some authority, "then I make a few phone calls. The SEC gets an anonymous tip about some interesting financial patterns. The Montana Attorney General learns about elder financial abuse. And every client you three have gets copies of these reports." The room went dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop. Jennifer sat beside me, studying her uncles with new eyes. "You stole from your own father while Mom was taking care of him." "We were trying to preserve family assets," Victor said weakly. "You were preserving them for yourselves," she shot back, "while Mom was paying for his medical care and keeping the ranch running." It took another hour of negotiation, but eventually they agreed to sign a document acknowledging Margaret's rightful ownership of Iron Creek Ranch and renouncing any claim to the property. In exchange, I agreed to keep their financial dealings private. After they left, Jennifer and I walked out to the workshop together. I picked up a piece of oak from the lumber rack and ran my hands over the smooth surface. "Are you really going to learn woodworking again?" she asked. "Your mother seemed to think I should." I looked around at all the tools, imagining the projects I could build, maybe start with something simple. "A cutting board, picture frames, will you teach me?" I smiled at her. "Your mother always said you had my hands, good for building things." Over the next few months, I discovered Margaret had been right about a lot of things. The ranch was profitable thanks to the natural gas lease I negotiated with TimCorp Energy. The cattle operation ran itself with help from Carl Williams, who came out of retirement to manage the herd, and the workshop became my sanctuary. I started small like I'd told Jennifer, cutting boards, simple boxes, birdhouses for around the property, but gradually I worked up to bigger projects. A dining table for the ranch house kitchen, bookcases for the library, a rocking chair for the front porch where I could watch Montana sunsets. Each project taught me something new about wood, about patience, about creating something beautiful with my hands. More importantly, it taught me something about Margaret's final gift. She hadn't just left me a ranch or a workshop or even $45 million. She'd left me a way to rebuild myself after losing her. Jennifer visited every few months, sometimes bringing her boyfriend who turned out to be handy with a router. We built things together in that workshop, furniture for her apartment, toys for the neighbor kids, custom cabinets for the ranch house. Each project was a conversation with Margaret, a way of honoring the vision she'd had for my future. The Morrison brothers kept their distance. Leonard quietly retired from his investment firm. Victor's insurance agency lost several major clients. Nathan moved to Arizona and started selling real estate. None of them ever contacted us again. I still watch Margaret's videos every morning. She made 365 of them, one for each day of my first year without her. Some are practical. How to work with the gas company, which contractors to trust, how to manage ranch finances. Others are personal, birthday messages, holiday greetings, reminders of trips we'd taken or dreams we'd shared. But my favorite video is the last one, dated exactly 1 year after her death. In it, she's sitting in our old kitchen in Minneapolis, looking tired but determined. If you're watching this, she says, then you made it through the worst year. You learned to live without me, and I'm proud of you for that. But now it's time to start living for yourself again. Build something beautiful, Gordon. Not just furniture, but a life. The life we always talked about having someday. The ranch she'd forbidden me to visit had become the home she'd always dreamed we'd have together. The secret she'd kept had become the gift that kept on giving. And I, Gordon Pierce, retired mechanical engineer turned Montana rancher and part-time woodworker, was finally living the life we'd both wanted. Margaret had kept her promise after all. She'd taken care of me, just like she'd vowed on our wedding day 32 years earlier. She'd just done it in the most unexpected way imaginable. Look, I know some of you watching this are probably dealing with family members who think they know better than you do about your own life. Maybe it's brothers-in-law trying to muscle in on what's rightfully yours, or maybe it's some other relative who figures they're entitled to what you've worked for. Here's what I learned. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stands by you when things get tough. Document everything, trust your instincts, and never let anyone else define what your family should look like. Most importantly, don't let toxic people steal your future just because they share your last name. You get to choose who deserves a place in your life story.